I go back and I see all those things. I'm like, hey, if you have a dream, just go for it. People are gonna laugh at you. It's not gonna be easy. Discipline beats intelligence.
Welcome back to the Grindcast. So today we're joined by 21-year-old real estate prodigy Diego Báez of B&B Real Estate in Salt Lake City. So Diego launched his investing career at just 17 and flipping over 50 homes so far alongside with his dad while juggling high school and construction work. Diego's passion for real estate and community shines through every project. Get ready for an inspiring conversation with a young entrepreneur who's redefining success. Welcome to the Grindcast, Diego.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure being here. And I mean, all these experiences, like you said, starting young, it's great, but also you get to live a lot of different experiences throughout life. I have been on the radio, podcast here with you, and it's an amazing. I'm really grateful for the invitation and grateful for being here.
Awesome. So tell us a little about some of these projects that you're working on now, because you're flipping homes. So you're buying them and you're completely renovating them in some cases minor, some cases like I've seen some where it's like, let's just gut the whole thing and let's just start over. And
it's better sometimes. It's better.
So tell us a little bit about what you do now.
Perfect. Sure. So we mainly do flips. We also do like some rentals that we acquire through seller finance.
Okay.
On the flip side, we currently are working on 10 projects at the same time. So between Manifold City, Mill Creek, Kern, so we have also like all over the price ranges as well. We have a 1.5 in Manifold, 1.2 in Mill Creek, and we are closing on 401 in Kearns.
Okay.
So we have...
These aren't just starter homes, like the ones $1.5 million, like that's...
Yeah,
okay.
That's one of my favorite ones so far. It's up in the hill, 6,000 square feet home.
Wow.
It's going to be 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 2 kitchens, gym, sauna. So it's really incredible. Wow. And yeah, that's one of the things that, I mean, you said you got to identify what you're going to do when you walk a project. Mm-hmm. If it's going to be cosmetic or if it's going to require like move bathrooms, kitchen, do your due diligence pretty much when you walk home.
Yeah.
So that's part of what we do. And the experience that I have acquired throughout the years, working with my dad, walking a home, seeing what's possible, because you can, if you want to do like 1,000 things, but if those things are not possible, you got to follow safety, you got to follow the codes, you got to follow a lot of stuff. So yeah, I really like what I do. Well, like you said, we're going to go back at it. I was starting. Yeah, I would pick my interest in real estate. So far, yeah, it's tough to manage like 10 projects at the same time, but I really like what I do, and we want to get to a point where we do up to 15 at the same time as well.
And I was just going to ask you, like, how do you manage those 10 different projects at the same time?
How do I manage it?
That's a lot. There's a lot of different moving pieces, right? You've got a lot of different people going
very good teams
and doing things, right? You've got a lot of budgeting you got to keep track of. Like, there's a lot of those things. How are you managing all that?
A big advantage that I have, it's not on me, it's me and my dad that we work together. We have crew, we have people that we subcontract as well. And I think that's a really important thing, because we did not start making 10 projects at the same time, right?
Right.
We started with 1, then we jumped to 2, then to 3, then to 5. So it's a process that you gotta know yourself, be like, okay, you gotta be realistic. Don't overpromise and don't put too much on your plate that you cannot accomplish at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So it takes a lot of discipline. I make a lot of mistakes, and that's something I say. I'm gonna make 1,000 mistakes today, and I'm gonna make 1,000 mistakes tomorrow. Well, ain't gonna be the same 1,000 mistakes that I did the last day. So that's one of the things which I just graduated like from high school in 2022. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to college. So those are the things. One of the things that I'm kind of against the school, it's that they teach you that if you make a mistake, you don't have to make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, that's wrong. And no, it shouldn't be like that. You got to try it. If you fail, you try it again. And that's the way they should be, like, find a solution. Mm-hmm. And because to be honest, like half of the things that they taught me in math when X, Y, Z, I don't really use that like today. So that's why, like, on my perspective or my personal opinions, that I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to pursue that. I was playing soccer in high school, so I received a scholarship up in Montana, like we were talking about. And I turned it down because I was like, what do I want to do if by the time that I'm graduating, I could be retiring? So I was like, okay, you got to make decisions. You got to, I mean, life is about decisions. So far, I bought my first house, my primary residence, when I was, last year when I was still 20. So
love it.
I'm about to, I just closed on another one that I want to turn into my primary residence.
Yeah. So I love what you said about mistakes, because I think it's so true. In school, you're taught that when you make a mistake, that's a bad thing. We don't want to make mistakes. Don't make mistakes, right? Mm-hmm. But in business, you have to make mistakes. And if you're so afraid of making those mistakes, it just makes you're paralyzed. You just don't want to you won't do anything.
Exactly.
But really, it's make a mistake and learn. Make a mistake and learn. Make a mistake and learn. If you do that, you're going to be much better off. But I appreciate that you said that.
Hopefully not 1,000 a day. That's a lot of learning.
It is. And that's the thing, though. In real estate, it's either way you learn, because you don't lose. You learn or you earn. But you decide how many times you want to learn.
Yeah.
And that's something I say. If you make the same mistakes 2 or 3 times, then that's not a mistake. You're doing that on purpose, and you're not analyzing what you're doing, and you just don't want to change the things. And you're on your comfort zone. So that's why, like, managing 10 projects is not easy, but I like it because challenge me. Another thing is that I don't have all the 10 projects on the same LLC, the city, liability, everything like that. So you gotta diversify all those things. And I have young friends that are in college, and a friend of mine just called me last week. She was like, "Can I make a couple of questions?" I was like, "Sure, go ahead." She was like, "What type of education you got to get into real estate?" I was like,
School of Hard Knocks.
You try and fail, and that's how it should be. Because I took classes like business. I took business and financial in high school just to test it out, because I was like, I started the business when I was 17, so I wanted to test that out and make that little experiment for myself. And the business teacher, he never owned a business.
Right.
I never owned a business. So I was like, why are you teaching something that you have not like implemented or don't really know? And my financial teacher, he was a history teacher. So he actually graduated to be a history teacher. And I remember one day staying after class, talking about taxes with him and teaching him how he can write off his kids and stuff like that. I was like, you should be teaching us this, and instead of like a lot of stuff that they teach nowadays in school. Hey, how to properly use the credit card, leverage those things, file taxes, or even though if you don't file them, like know the basics of it. So all those things that I think are more important in life.
Yes.
Actually,
life skills.
Exactly. Like actually teach those in school. Yeah. Not things that you're gonna remember for a test and then you're not gonna use and you're gonna forget about.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's important. Like when you learn that, and we're trying to set something up like this here is going back to the schools and teaching it, because to be fair, I mean, I think the teachers are doing the best job that they can based on what they know. They just haven't experienced it yet. So if they're trying to teach finances or business or whatever through a book, I appreciate that they're trying to, but it takes other people like what you've learned to go back and just say, hey, class, I'm going to teach you guys how it really is. And it can be just an hour long. And I hope that more business owners step up and do that and just go to the high schools and share that knowledge, because that's what people need. And I actually did one of these recently, and one of the teachers was there listening as well, like, okay, writing this stuff down, and it's amazing. So I appreciate that you said that.
Yeah, like you said, it's not about the teachers, it's about more like the system, because they push them to that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my brother. He goes to Juan Diego. It's a Catholic school up there. And he was telling me about 2 teachers, right? One was financial as well. and he has experience in the financial field, Bitcoin trading, all those things, which that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be about.
Right.
And he was telling me about another teacher that he literally Googles homework for this class, and that's what he gives out. And when the kids ask for help, he's like, I don't know, let me go find out. And you're like, that's the future. They're like, that's what you're teaching them. And you're like, something must be wrong at that point.
It's interesting because like what the textbooks don't get is the emotional side of business and the challenge it is, right? And that's 80% of business is the emotional side, right? The what to do, the strategy, that's the easy part. The what happens to you when your teeth get knocked in, right? And you've got that, and you've got to face it, like, and you had a big loss. Like that's the part that's hard. It's not the other part. So
it is.
Yeah. Tell us about like what's the best flip that you've done?
The best one so far. Talking about numbers or talking about experience?
Both.
Probably one that I did like in Rose Park.
Okay.
So quick story, we had under contract 2 times. The first time we had under contract for 340. So we got it for 340, and then we walked the home. We went back to the agent. We're like, you know what? We need it to be like we had it for 360 the first time. So we go back to them, and it was like, hey, we need to be at 340.
There was more work.
There was more work than we expected. We need to be at 340. They said no, so we back out. Weeks pass by, the same agent sends me the property, and they're like, hey, now they're asking 340. I was like, send offer for 320. And we got it.
Yeah.
So we got it. We did math, test, everything. Let's say if today I'm closing on tomorrow I'm closing on the property, the math lab calls me today and they're like, oh, we did a mistake. We switched your samples, and actually the property has math.
Oh, no.
I know. Like 1 day before the closing, everything messed it up.
God.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were really, really shady with what they wanted to like do. So I was like, you know what? It's my word. The deal makes sense, but obviously I have to spend a couple extra bucks.
So this was before you closed on it?
Yeah, 1 day before.
Wow, okay.
1 day before. So I talked to the agent. I'm like, hey, this just happened to me. Can you help me out with this one? They were like, yeah, we want to move on. And we actually went from 320 to 315.
Okay.
So it was actually really good. At the moment when we rehab it, it was pretty much brand new house. Roofing, HVAC, walls, a lot of things we did new on that property. And the numbers, so I'm going to sell the numbers. We bought it for 315, and then we sold it for 560.
Wow.
So we were the most expensive home at the moment of Rose Park, and of that little,
But you did such an amazing job on the inside.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But now, so the math was one thing, but also it was creepy because 2 people died at property. Yeah, it was a mother.
Meth?
No, not from meth. No, it was a mother and a son, and the person who found them, it was a sister.
Oh, gosh.
I know. So she would like go visit them, knock on the door, and she did that like 3 times. The 4th time she goes with the police. They open and they found them dead. Yeah. So the Baez,
Okay, I have to know. Like, did they know how they died?
had they died, the mother died because she was old, and looks like the son, he just, I don't think that he killed himself, but he was just like, you know what? It's like, stop eating.
There's no point in living.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah,
That's tragic.
it is. So the vibes on that property were pretty heavy, and that home actually had a basement, which most properties around the area don't, but that one had. And I was scared to go to the basement. I'm going by myself.
Like this thing is haunted.
So yeah, no, I ain't going by myself. And,
Because somebody go bless it for you.
yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm Catholic, and most of my projects I have a father come with me. I'm like, hey, we're doing this. Can you like bless the house, bless the project, bless the workers, and bless the future owners?
That's awesome. Okay, I want to get into showing one of these because we've got some before and after pictures that are amazing, showing what you've done. So, Mike, if you want to pull those up, that'll be awesome. So, this one, and then you can kind of go back and forth between that and then us. But okay, so this one right here. So, if we look at that before picture, like I can see that one's kind of scary.
It is.
Like you take a look at that and you're like, whoa. Okay, so walk us through what you like. What is your vision here when you walk and you see something like this? Because you've got an amazing vision with these, and you just completely transform these properties.
So if you want to go to the one next, the one on the top,
next to the house, or
next to the house, next to the front part of the house,
the one to the right side of it.
Yep.
Okay.
So like the
with
third,
the mirror.
Yeah, the third one.
Down
Right there you go. Yeah, that one. So that one, you can see the main entrance right there. The living room was right there. There were mirrors across the house everywhere.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I know it was kind of weird, but
That would be weird.
you can see carpet. It's white. Everything in the house was white. So it was pretty unique.
Just kind of bland, nothing really there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I mean, next to the stairs, there were the kitchen. It was the kitchen.
Okay.
So we like to do the open concept.
Yeah.
We like to do with the open concept. So you're gonna see after. So we moved the stairs next to the door, and we left the.
Did you say you moved the stairs?
Yeah, we moved the stairs.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, we moved the stairs.
It's like this doesn't fit.
Yeah, this
We're
is
moving over here.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can see that now they're on the right side. Well, left side, my bad. And you got a pretty open concept here on the living room. On the basement, you got an open concept on the kitchen. So you got a really good space for the living room, kitchen, and dining room.
Was there a wall right there where that beam is?
Yeah, so that was where the stairs were.
Oh, okay.
That little like hallway.
Okay.
They divided that. So
Okay.
Wow.
And if you look at that, it's amazing to see the before with that brick right there on the bottom middle, and then on the top left, kind of what that looks just on the exterior. Like there's a huge difference as far as that
yeah,
goes.
me personally, there's a lot of flippers that they,
Wow.
for example, the white rock or the big rock that they used before, they just paint it. You obviously got to decide like the ARV based on the ARV in your
Right.
numbers, what you're going to do. But if I have the option and it doesn't cost me a lot, I'll just do siding or I'll just do a stucco or something.
Yeah.
Right. And so just really quick, for anybody who doesn't know what ARV is.
Oh, ARV, sorry, yeah. After repair value, so how much you can sell it for. What a reasonable price they can sell it for.
Yeah. What it's worth after all the work is
Exactly.
done. Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, you can see that we try to keep a balance with everything. Neutral colors.
Like that. That's amazing.
beautiful.
So this, if you, Mike, if you can click that one with the door and the stairway right there at the top. So this is where you moved the stairs.
Yes.
Where were with this picture? Where were the stairs before?
Before, so if you go back on the picture, so go down right there. Yep, that one. So you can see that door on the.
Okay, yeah.
That's where the
okay.
main entrance was. So it was as soon as you walk into the house,
Uh-huh.
you have the stairs right there.
Oh.
So you had the stairs, and next to you had like a little door frame for the kitchen.
Okay.
And the dining.
So you moved them on the other side of the wall.
Exactly.
The other side of the door. The other side of the door.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it was an open concept.
That is awesome. It's kind of like
Wow.
a crazy idea. Like, okay, I don't like stairs here. We're just going to completely move
We're
them.
just gonna move it. You know what? Move them. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, and I mean those are the things. Like I said, you gotta go back to your numbers to like, hey, what makes sense of doing? What area as well? Your rehab that doesn't go crazy.
Yeah.
The ARV making sense. Obviously, making sure that it makes sense. The area, and also how quick you want to finish the flip, because that's another thing you have to take into consideration. We just finished a flip in Kearns in 14 days,
Oh, wow.
and we fully gutted it.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That's amazing.
Got quite the crew.
Yep. And that was actually it was 5 people on the same, like on the property, just 5 people.
Yeah.
But it was all about managing and making sure,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
that everything was going good.
Yeah. So tell me what's the most challenging flip that you've had so far?
Challenging. Probably one that I have in the avenues.
Okay.
The avenues that you have. We're working with the city with that one. So we're working with the city. Usually, I mean, on a property, you have the main sewer or the main water right in the front of the house, right? So you're talking probably 30, 40 feet of line. This one, even since we're working with the city couldn't find the maps showing the lane.
Wow.
They couldn't find like the blueprints. They couldn't find anything.
Okay.
So let's say here's your house and here's the main street and here's another street.
Mm-hmm.
My sewer line connected not to here, not to the neighbors, connected all the way to the other street. So they were around 400 feet of line.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we had to fix the sewer.
Oh my gosh.
So we had to fix the sewer, but the city, they redid the whole main line of pipes and everything.
Oh, that's
So here's a main. Mine was coming like this, but they didn't do a good job. So they did like an overlap. So the easy solution to them, it was just to do an elbow. The elbow wasn't installed correctly. So it was causing damage to the property.
Yeah.
So even though it wasn't me, it was the city who did it. Guess who had to pay for that?
Oh, that makes, yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that's rough.
It is. So challing with the city, with the permits. Another thing is that we were doing the four-way inspection. I think I met all the inspectors. All the inspectors. So the inspector walks the property on Friday. He passed electrical, framing, and plumbing. And it was just a matter of putting like some tape around the HVAC. So that's why we didn't pass the mechanical. That was on Friday. And he was like, you know what? You need to do this. I'm going to pass this 3, but mechanical needs to be fixed. I was like, can I do it right now? He's like, no. I was like, great.
Oh, no.
I'll make the appointment for Monday. Well, it's not going to be me because I'm going to Japan. I was like, all right, have fun. Monday, we are there on the property, and the inspector starts looking at everything. Framing, electrical, and I was like, hey, I already passed it. You're supposed to just watch for this tape that it's right here. He's like, well, on the system, it doesn't show that you passed it.
Oh, my gosh.
I have no record of you passing it. Good thing, and a little advice. If you're can I look at that camera?
Go for it.
Go for it. If you're working with the city, record the walkthrough. That helped me. I was like, hey, look, the inspector was here on Friday. He always asked for permission to record. Obviously, yeah, you want to play it within the book. So we asked the inspector, hey, can we record you? Make sure that it's your word against your word, right?
Yeah.
So we showed the other inspector on Monday. I was like, hey, here's a video. Look, he already passed these 3 things. This is what you need to look for. That inspection process took us probably like over 2 months.
Wow.
Because one inspector, let's say this TV, right? It's probably like, let's say 2 feet away from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
An inspector comes on Monday. He's like, it needs to be at least 3 feet away from the ceiling. You move the TV. Another inspector comes by and he's like, hey, it's too down. You need to put it at least 2 feet away from the ceiling. And that's the thing with the city. That's a story that you're gonna hear from the city. So every single person, it's different.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Record, and sometimes it just depends if they're in a good mood, bad mood. If you're the first one, if you're the last one, if they have problems at home, if they don't have problems at home, it just whatever they want to do.
It's not consistent. It's just a little different.
Exactly.
Were you going to say something?
Yeah, next time just give them cheesecake.
Yeah, I mean,
My solution to everything.
I'm gonna try because that one was absolutely insane. That one was absolutely insane. So,
and it's frustrating because that causes delays, and delays cost money.
actually, yeah, it costs money, but obviously that's another thing that I say. When you buy right, you have obviously to take care of those numbers, right? But you have a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah.
So I bought that one for $595.
Yeah.
And ARV it's 1.2.
I think that's where some people that are flipping get it wrong, right? You can't operate too thin because there's going to be unexpected things that come up, right? It happens almost every time. There's something unexpected that come up, and got to leave some room available.
And at least for me in my scenario, it's, well, I don't pick up a flip unless I'm making 50 grand. Not because I want to, it's because, let's say, concessions or days on the market, whatever. Let's say I have to give 20 in concessions or time, whatever. I'm still going to net 30.
Yeah.
While other people, their bottom line, it's 30. So if they do 20, 25, or 30, you're like, being nice.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Exactly. So at least for me, that's where like, I want to be as conservative as possible.
Yeah.
And that's something I have learned as well.
I love that. So I want to go back a little bit here. You're working on such cool stuff, but I want to go back a little bit. Like, how did you get started in this at such a young age?
Okay. COVID happened, so I was still in high school, and I was doing online school. So I was doing online school, but also during the day I was working in construction. So I was doing fireproofing. Do you know what that is?
No.
Fireproofing, it's commercial construction. It's something that we spray
Oh,
into
okay.
the beams.
Okay, yeah.
So in case of a fire, it's like retention. So it's fire glass, sand. There's a lot of chemical stuff in that. So I was 16 at the time working in that, and I was working like 17 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was, I mean, I liked it, but it was heavy work. And I learned a lot of stuff, and that's where my dad doesn't speak English. So I was kind of the foreman of our group.
Okay.
You were supposed to have like 4 people in a group. It was me and my dad only. So I had to like go talk to the project managers, everyone, read blueprints. So that's where I learned that I like to talk to people. I like the construction part, but I also didn't want to work for someone else. So when I started real estate, when the opportunity came by, I was like, whoa, matches with what I want to do, right? In construction field, but not working for someone else. And obviously, you can make good money if you know what you're doing, but you can also lose money if you don't know what you're doing.
So did you like decide to go into real estate, or did an opportunity just kind of present itself?
An opportunity just like presented, you know, like one of the courses that you can buy.
Yeah.
So there's great ways out there. I don't think, me personally, it's that you don't need to spend big bucks. There is a lot of value that you can get, obviously, not for free because it has a value, but paying something. Obviously, as you're escalating or growing your business, you have to masterminds, coaching, all that is important because you want to escalate, you want to grow, you want to understand a lot of things that probably, well, in my case, 19, 20-year-old kid don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I had a mental breakdown probably a year and a half ago. Yeah, because you see a lot of things that a lot of people go through in their 30s, late 20s, and I was going through that on my early 20s.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like a lot to try to understand and try to obviously make smart decisions. And yesterday, I was just here in Vegas with my brother, spending some us time. And I was at the casino, right? I was just playing. And no one there thought I was 21. So I was just talking. And I was like, they were like, oh, you look like 25, 26. And I was like, no, I'm 21. And every single time I say that, they get amazed. I was like, why you think I'm 26? And I was like, they were like, because of the way that you carry yourself, the way that you present yourself. And that's an important thing that I have learned. Because at the end of the day, if you lend me money, you're not going to trust a 21-year-old kid with your money. Unless you know what he's doing, but you're going to know, or you're going to see that he's like a mature person. He knows what he's doing. He's playing by the book, all those things. That's another reason that, or like one of the biggest challenges that I had to face or overcome so far. Like, hey, I'm 21. It's great what I'm doing at my age, but I want that thought to be like a second thought and not the first thought.
Got it.
So like a first thought, okay, he's an investor. He knows what he's doing. And on the second thought, it's amazing that he's doing it at 21 years old. And I'm not doing it by myself. I'm like, I have a team. I have my dad. I have my workers. I have agents. I have lenders. I have escrow officers that they help me. And that's another important thing. Build your team. And like I mentioned before, you're going to make 1,000 mistakes, but it cannot be the same 1,000 mistakes that you did yesterday.
So I have a question for you. So what would you say, like, your leadership style is that you found works really effectively with your team? As a 21-year-old, they're probably like, this guy.
Yes. And actually, I like that you asked that, because now that I have built that relationship more with my workers, they were like, you have grown a lot to a point where I have like a good relationship with them. They're like, probably like 2 years ago, we were like, this is just like a dumb kid.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Who's this teenager?
Exactly, just a teenager. So I was like, because I was like a jerk, because I was like making good money. I was talking. I like, a lot of people knew me. So 18 years old, all those things.
Think you're the stuff.
Exactly. So I lost it for a sec, and obviously like friends, family, they told me, hey, this says, hey, be careful with this.
Rope it in.
Exactly. Rough it up. You have fun. Now take it seriously. And that was like a big lesson that I learned. I was like, yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of stuff, but you gotta be smart enough to see who's telling you and where is it coming from. Because you cannot hear every single person, but you gotta be realistic and smart about what opinions you're hearing from who you hear it from. If it's family, friends, of course you're gonna hear. But if it's another person that you don't really know, then you're gonna be like, thank you. But you're not gonna give it a second thought in your head. So the how I manage it, I'm not the person that, hey, do this, do that. No, because that's not a leader. That's just like a bossy person. So if I want them to do something, I'll try to put the example. I'll swing the hammer, not in every single project because I can't, but like if we need to take something or finish a project, I'll be there. Mm-hmm. I have a truck, so it's like a 2,400. So the dump trailers to the landfill, all those things, they are gonna see me working in the property.
Okay.
They're gonna see me being there, be present, be like, I do like at least 50 calls a day. So for me, it's balancing the stressful things that happen not on the construction part, and managing also like the construction part. And I just bought a book that it's the art of clear thinking. So, and that's a thing that I saw the book and I was like, this is really helpful because, like I said, you gotta invest in yourself once you're like already when you're already doing it, right? Mm-hmm. You got under a lot of stress. What we talk about, they don't teach you this at school. They don't teach you how to manage things under stressful situations, making decisions on the smartest way possible. Because, like I said, you're gonna make mistakes, right? But you were like, okay, if I'm going a lot of stress, what's the best route? Or stay calm, thing with a cool head, and that's the way it should be.
I think it's amazing that you've learned that at such a young age, because I see some people that are young and they start doing really well and you get a little arrogance, and I get it. I experienced that too when I was in my 20s, but they stay stuck in that area. And the problem is you don't get to the next level if you don't learn from that, right? Like because to start doing really well, you need a team of people that are all rooting for you and want to see you succeed. If nobody wants to see you succeed, you stop there. Yep. And there's some people that I know that are still 30s, 40s, 50s, and they're still stuck there. Yep. And it doesn't change, right?
There's a quote that I like a lot. It's being talented opens you doors, but being humble keeps them open.
Oh, I like that.
Because, like I said, if you are like a jerk and no one likes you, they're like, he's an arrogant. He's so cocky. He's like, you're going to lose a lot of opportunities. And that's something that my dad says. He's like, I don't want you to be rich. I want you to be a good person. That's all I care about. If you become rich, if you're a good person, business is going to come your way. And there is a lot of things that my mother and my dad, they taught me. It's like always to help people. I don't post it, but if I see someone, let's say at the 7-Eleven, that cannot pay, I'll just be like, hey man, put it on my tab, I'll take care of it.
That's awesome.
And because you don't know what that person is going through, so you gotta be like, you gotta understand those things. And for me, the best pay that I can get, it's that satisfaction, it's that feeling I helped someone.
It's fulfilling.
Exactly. And I mean, at least for me, it's I'm Catholic. At the end of the day, who I want to see those actions is God, and he sees everyone and everything at every single thing.
Yeah.
So if he's watching, I'm cool. I'm happy, and I don't post and I don't brag about it like in social media, like a lot of people. Oh, I just did this. No, because that you shouldn't be doing that.
Well, I mean, there is a different perspective to that. Yeah. So I do think that, I mean, I don't think you have to post everything, but I think if you can show goodness, like, then it helps inspire other people.
Well, or like inspire other people. Like, hey, let's do this to help other people. Yeah.
But I think it's the way you go about it, right? 100%. Not like hey, look at me, but like, hey, why don't we all like think outside the box and like, how can we better the community? Exactly. How can we help others? And so sometimes like people forget, and so it's a good reminder when they see somebody that they that inspires them, that they look up to, you know.
And yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, it's not about bragging. Yeah, it's about like telling others, hey, let's do this. Let's help this other person, or like, because you don't know what other people. Like I said, you don't know what other people's going through. A really sad story. It's that like a couple weeks ago, I went to eat with my wife.
You're married?
Yeah, I'm married.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm married.
You're just getting all this stuff out of there.
I know. So I went to eat, and then it was me and my wife, and then an old man sits next to us. So we were just sitting, we were just talking, chatting, and I see that he takes out some bills, like count. I just see that because that's another thing I like to do. I like to be alert.
Yeah, pay attention.
Exactly what's going on around my environment, for safety, for any other reasons, right?
Opportunity.
Exactly. So it's a restaurant that I know the owners. I have a really great relationship. So I just stand up. I go to pay. I was like, I'll pay for his food. I don't know the guy.
That's awesome.
And the lady asked me, how old you think that he is? I was like, he looks in his 70s. And she's like, he's almost 90 years old. Wow. He keeps working. It was around 3, and the lady tells me, so he just got off work. He came to eat. He's gonna go back to another job at 6. And I see those things, and I was like, thank you, God, for the opportunities, for allowing me to help and bless others. Yeah. The reason why it like got me a lot, it's because my grandpa, he also died working. So he was in Mexico. When he passed away, couldn't be there for him. Those are one of the things that really hurts to this day. So seeing that person really touched my heart, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah. And
there was something on my heart, on my head, saying, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, I think for me, at least, I've, like most of my life, like I love serving because it brings me a lot of joy, and I've seen a lot of pain, and I've experienced a lot of pain. And so that's kind of something that helps me when I'm feeling low. I'm like, what can I do to serve others? Because that brings me joy. And so I've noticed over the years, you know, like when I get that feeling of like inspiration, like you need to do something, whenever I ignore that feeling and I'm like, I make an excuse for it, or, oh, I'm too busy, or, oh, I've got to go here, then it just kind of haunts me for a while. And so regardless of like what the excuse is, like I try to just follow through. Just be like, okay, like I recognized I need to do this, so let's go.
Let's just like you said, at the end of the day, who you trying to like to?
Yeah,
Like,
and you don't know their experience.
Yeah.
You can say all you want about the homeless person on the corner, oh, they're going to do drugs, but you don't know, and it's not our responsibility.
exactly.
to
Like
know.
you're giving them something out of the bottom of your heart.
Yeah.
What they do,
That's their choice.
that's their choice. So that's what I mean. At least for me, I like to stop the car. Hey, have you eat today?
Yeah.
No. All right, I'll go get something. Just wait here. Because
That's
like
amazing.
you don't know their story. You don't know, yeah, you don't know them.
Yeah.
Every single person has a story to tell. You don't know their childhood. You don't know where they coming from or everything they had to suffer. So it's not our place to judge. I want to be. I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy enough to bless others. And I'm 21, but at the end of the day, my end goal is I don't want to have X amount of dollars on my bank account. I want to have a family. I'm married. I want to have kids. And I want to be wealthy enough to, if it's a boy and they have soccer tournament out of state, it's a lady, a girl, and they have a ballet or whatever out of state, being able to spend time with my family and not worry about money.
Financial freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So something I couldn't had. So I want to give my family what I couldn't have and give them something different. And at the end of the day, that's my why.
That's awesome.
I love that. And I think sometimes those things that you do for others that are strangers, that can be a thing that triggers them to make a change and do something different as well.
You never know.
And so we do a thing, we call it the $100 dinner club, where we get a group together and everybody tips $100.
Okay.
And it's an amazing experience every time we do it. And when we first started this, I wrestled with the idea of posting it, kind of for those same reasons. But then I thought about it and I thought, well, where I got the idea was seeing somebody else do it.
Yeah.
And so if it inspires somebody else, I'm going to deal with some haters. That's just it. But if I'm doing it for the right reasons, I'm doing it to inspire others to do it, then I'm going to go ahead and just film
You
it.
cannot please every single person.
No.
So at the end of the day, someone's gonna complain for something. That's another thing. Like these days, or my generation, because I'm young, you get canceled for everything. You cannot relate anything. So they're gonna hate for whatever. So if you do it like with a pure intention, that's all it counts. That's all it matters.
Yeah.
And like I said, call it karma, call it vibes, universe, whatever you believe on. If you do good, you're gonna receive good.
Yeah.
If you do bad, you're gonna receive bad. And I have made mistakes, yes, but those are mistakes, because there's people that take advantage of other people. Where if I do something, or if I give you my word, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna live up to my word, even though if I realize that screw me over after, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I gave you my word. If you sell me something and I'm trying to make a deal out of it, if I'm thinking I can sell it a pen, or if you sell it to me for $5 and I think I can sell it for 10, but then I realize I can only sell it for 2. If I already gave you my word, I'm gonna give you $5 for it. I'm gonna give you $5 for it, even though I'm gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going through that situation now with a partnership that went south, with a person that I learned, like I said, it's the way you learn or you earn. Yeah, and I mean, this person have screwed over a lot of people. It was my turn, so yeah, I mean, what can I say? But obviously, I'm responding for money that wasn't my fault. But obviously, it's my reputation, it's my brand, and I don't. We were talking about like, hey, you know this person or I know this person. It's about that. It's about my reputation. It's about, even though it wasn't directly me, it was me for being dumb, but not like directly the money or receiving money. I'm gonna respond because I don't want to affect others or others people's actions.
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that. And then full disclosure to everybody watching, I am partnered on a property with.
Oh yeah, we're
and so no, but that's where. So I didn't know you when this first came about. And it was somebody else who kind of connected us. And it was a larger dollar amount than I normally do. It was a bigger project. And I was like, that's interesting. And so I'll kind of Facebook stalk everybody I'm lending to. Like I'm like what are they about? Do they do anything? Like if there's no digital footprint, I'm just out anyway. But I can see that. And then I started, so I kind of scrolled through and I saw all these projects that you're doing. So I'm like, okay, he's doing projects. That's a good thing. And I started making phone calls to other people that knew you and that I also knew and asking them about it. And everybody had great things to say. So it made me realize like this person really cares about what the reputation is. Okay, that's a good. Now understanding that sometimes still things go wrong.
Yeah,
but this person understands about it. So that's why I had another person who kind of double checked the deal to make sure it was what it was that we were planning on. He said, "Yep, it all looks good."
And yeah, I mean, deals can go south. 100%. You never know what can happen. And that's the part of investing. There's a risk. That's why you and I talk. I'm pretty upfront to the people like that trust me with their money. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's a 21-year-old, but you gotta show yourself or present yourself with a different perspective. But I'm like, hey, I understand it's not only your money. It might be your dreams, might be obviously your interest, might be you were saving for this other things and you decided to take this risk. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna respond for that money if something goes south. And like I said, I'm paying people for a mistake that I did trusting someone else, but I'm responding for that because at the end of the day, it was the person who I connected. So it was a relationship of mine. Mm-hmm. Even though I didn't touch the money, I got affected. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna try to respond for those things. And like I said, you're gonna make mistakes. It's totally fine. I'm still going through like this business. I'm still going through all this. And a lot of people are going to talk. Like you said, they're going to hate. They're going to say something. Might be someone that out there. Or well, there is someone because I know that they talk about me. But there's a good thing that they talk about you. Means that that you're doing something.
Yeah.
So
got to have some haters. Yeah, but I think the important thing is like when you're doing that and you're handling other people's money and you do whatever you need to make it right, you will never have issues getting money to fund projects.
And
right?
That's why I just funded one Friday. We just closed on multiple ones last month. Mm-hmm. So actions speak louder than words.
Yes. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So I want to go back to when you're 17 again. So
sure.
You mentioned we went off on a little
I
tangent.
know.
We're having a good time though. So you had mentioned that you were doing that other construction job, and then you got into real estate because an opportunity presented itself. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to hear a little bit more about that. What was the opportunity? How did it present itself? How did that come to be?
So our boss in construction happened to partner or like invest the initial capital for an education and then buy a property. Mm-hmm. So it went from being our boss to being our partner. So we learned a lot. I was getting deals when I was at high school. Like I was in class, I would finish my projects or my work. Now we start just like on the MLS and calling people or texting people, hey, this is Diego. I saw the property that you have. And I got like 3 properties while I was in high school, like in class. So yeah, and it's funny because a lot of there was one specific teacher that I remember that I cannot tell him, hey, I'm doing this. So if I need to make a call, is it okay with you? He kind of took it as a joke.
Yeah.
So he gave me like a sarcastic answer. I was like, all right, it's okay. So those are things that, like you said, you gotta stay focused on what you're doing. People are gonna hate every single day. People are gonna say something.
Yeah. But you're making sales calls while you're in class.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Teachers, if you have students that are making sales calls in class, let
them do it.
Let them do it. That is amazing. If they're not wrong, don't make it wrong. Let them do it.
Exactly. And I mean, obviously, guys, don't take advantage of that freedom that the teachers may give you. If you say that you're gonna do something, do that. No, yeah, because you could, like I said, keep up to your word. Like, don't take advantage because you're just gonna expose yourself. And so that opportunity presented, and we partnered with someone. We didn't make much on the first flip. I think we only made like 3,000. But the thing is that that person
You got paid to learn.
exactly. But that person had a lot of flips. Yeah, I think she had like 5 or 6, but she didn't have a truck, and we had a truck. So, what we would do is, hey, do you need us to go pick up something? Doesn't matter if it's not a 4 or 2. If it's one of your deals, that's fine. And she was like, oh yeah, can you go pick up this? So that allows us to see other projects and see different processes. And hey, people are not working here, or hey, why are you doing white cable or white wiring or the yellow, or all those questions? It helped us and to get us started rolling. So always offer something, and that's the thing. That's something I learned. There are still really important questions that you can ask in the middle. What do you have, and what do you need? Because you can make really good connections with that. You can go talk around the room. Don't be the most interesting person in the room. Be
like that.
Exactly. I learned that as well. So don't be the most interesting person, because there's this people that they're like, if you're in a meetup, they're like, they try to make themselves I'm the thing, so people are gonna talk to me. No, don't be that person. Go out there. You don't know what relationships you can find. You don't know the opportunities that you're losing for being that guy.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when you listen, you get to learn like what opportunities, there are. If you listen, then you get to learn about other people and what they need and how you can help them. And then that's, in my experience, that's how you form real bonds with people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And talking about bonds, and for example, like how you present yourself. How I was getting properties before, I was like texting people. I was texting agents, hey, this and that. I had something already on my notes. Just copy and paste. Change the address, change the name, change the amount. But then I learned, hey, I wanna talk to the agent. They say that for every 1,000 offers that you send, you're gonna get 2 or 3 people. I don't do that. For every offer that I send, if I send 3 offers, I get a list to accept it.
Wow.
Because I talk to the agent. I'm on the phone with them for probably like an hour.
Are these properties that are on market?
On market, yes. I don't really buy from wholesalers.
Okay, you're doing on-market deals.
Yeah, I'm doing
and you're getting
on-market.
that kind of margin on on-market deals.
Yeah,
That's
because
amazing.
I discount. I get a lot of discounts. For example, the one that we're working on, we bought it for $425. I think so. Yeah, right? $425. $425, I think.
I hope so. Alex, where are you at? Alex did the underwriting for me.
Out of mind.
No, I know how much I wired.
I know that too. So $425.
Full disclosure, I've never given 6 figures to a 21-year-old, just so you know. This was a first for me, and I was like, what? And we were in we were in Cancun. Because you had that, and we had to do it kind of quick. And when I talked to your partner, I was like, I'm going out of the country. I don't even know if I can send a wire when I'm out there. We might have to figure this out.
I remember that you were out of the country.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
So we bought it for $425, and they were asking $560.
Wow.
So we negotiated it.
On market.
On market.
Good job.
On market.
So why don't you use wholesalers?
He's getting better deals on market.
Fair.
I work with very few wholesalers, probably like just 2 or 3. Then I work with a wholesaler that when I met him, he's like, if I give you a call, me personally, means that only 3 or 4 people knows about this deal. And first come, first serve. If I blast it out and you look at it, go ahead. But the things that I don't like about wholesalers, they inflate the numbers. They say, oh, it's a $20,000 rehab.
Yeah.
Man, it's 2025. Inflation, it's crazy. I haven't seen a $20,000 rehab in a while. Even if you do cosmetic, paint, flooring, let's say carpet, those things, you're not gonna spend 20,000.
Right.
You're not gonna spend 20,000. So, especially let's say Salt Lake area, that it's pretty specific with the zones. For example, from State Street, from 700 East to 1300 East to 2100 East to 2300 East. If you pass a major road, that can affect your value $50,000.
Wow.
Right.
So
yeah, if you're in like that 21st South and below 7th East, like
Exactly.
those things are really, really cheap. But once you get above 13th East, it's just like,
That's crazy.
yeah, so you can know all those things. Because let's say people or wholesalers, they send you a deal, let's say 300 East in Salt Lake. Even though it's within a mile, they send you comps from 1300 East.
Mm.
You're like, no,
Yeah,
it
it doesn't
doesn't
work.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Even though, like I said, it's within a mile, it's pretty accurate. Street, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you like to really know what you're buying.
Yeah, and this is something I'll say. They inflate the numbers. They do a lot of things. The ARV, it's not accurate. They're like, oh, it's 30,000, 20,000. You're like, no, it's not. It's at least like 60. It's at least 60.
Big difference.
Exactly. So, they do like bidding war. They do all this. So I'm like, I don't really waste my time if I can get these other deals on the
That makes
MLS.
sense.
Yeah.
Where obviously, yeah, wholesalers, that's great that you do what you're doing. I have bought deals from wholesalers, but probably it's like 5 of them.
I think
Yeah.
the way you're doing it, though, you're going to come across more opportunity because the wholesalers, it's just kind of random. Like, oh, hey, I found this deal. But if you're looking, you can look literally every day
Mhm.
and you can see what's out there that's something that makes sense.
And actually, I don't really look anymore.
They just come to you.
Yep, because
They know your track record.
That's awesome.
Now, obviously, like I believe that that's probably how you are able to negotiate such good deals because you do have a proven track record. And so the realtors know, like, you know your stuff, right? What did you do when you were first starting that, like, built that reputation and trust so that you can get to this point before?
Okay,
Or did you just
everybody
have to-
needs to listen to this one here.
Yes, it's funny because in the beginning, when we were like go walk a property and try to get an offer, we would see another investor that we knew it was bigger than us or like been on the game for longer, and we're like, you know what, we're not even gonna waste our time. We know that we're not gonna get it.
Mhm.
That was when we were starting,
Okay.
and now we're at a point where
You're the big investor.
we are the big investor. And
Yeah.
we're like, you know what? I was trying to get that, but I saw you there, and I was like, there's no way I can get it.
Yeah.
Or they, even people, since I got like my own crew and I got pretty good like discounts in Home Depot because I buy a lot with them. I got good quality and cheap prices without sacrificing quality. So for me, my numbers are pretty low for the rehab. Because for example, the one that we're doing, our rehab it's 160. I talked to another investor and he's like, my rehab is at 200.
Makes a big difference.
Exactly. So in that one, it's like my numbers are better. And another person once told me, if Diego didn't get it, we're not gonna get it
Mhm.
because they know that the numbers that we have, it's low. But also we have become that big investor that people see us, or I don't see a property until I had it under contract. But also there's other investors that we know probably from when we were starting as well.
Okay, so when you were starting, how did you get like did you just have to like take the crappy deals and just prove that you did good work and could figure things
I had
out?
to think outside the box because many people were like going to the open houses, going for the properties that just hit the market and just like right away jump into it.
Mhm.
We didn't.
Oh.
We changed the strategy for the deals that were on the market for a long time, that were sitting on the market.
Okay.
They were sitting like, and that's why I talked to them. Hey, why are they selling? Oh, because they want to buy a house. Oh, really? Where at? Tell me about it. I switched from quantity, sending text, to quality,
Okay.
talking to agents. Hey, why are they selling? Oh, it's because they want to move to California. Really? Why is that? I mean, usually it's the opposite.
Yeah.
People from California move to Utah. Oh, so you are
Building rapport.
exactly. So you want to, if you talk to an agent, or most of the times when they are selling a property, 90% of the times the person who decides, it's not the sellers, it's the agent. So if you throw the agent in your pocket, you're gonna probably get the listing or the property, pretty much. So you talk to them, you're like, hey, if you throw those little inside jokes. So let's say I talk to you on Monday. Oh yeah, let me talk to my sellers and I'll give you an answer by Wednesday or tomorrow. Tuesday or Wednesday. If I don't hear from them, I call them Wednesday. Hey, John, this is Diego from we were talking about people from your clients moving to California, and so they remember those things, and you create like a bond already, a relationship with them. So, oh yeah, haha. So now it's like smoother conversation, and that's why people remember me, what I do. That I present them like a project that, hey, if we can work together, you can bring me more deals. That means money to them. The West Valley project that we just closed on Wednesday. Well, we should have closed on it Tuesday. Lender back out. Yeah, it was really, really weird. So I just talked to another lender. We were able to close Monday. Yesterday, literally. Yesterday I was looking for the funds and everything. So I was talking to the agent. I was like, hey man, John, we're funded and recorded. Oh yeah, and I was like, hey, I'm sorry this happened. It wasn't really on me, but here we are. I was like, oh yeah, I thought we weren't gonna be able to close. I was like, no, if I tell you I'm gonna do something, I do it. It was like I had that into consideration for future deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you create relationships. If you
build your reputation,
exactly,
and the rapport.
Exactly. Even though if it wasn't my fault that the lenders back out, and I was just like, oh, stressful. I was on my way here to Vegas. The other jobs, 2 properties in the market. We just put another one, 3, sorry. So the art of clear thinking that you got to stay focused or like disciplined. Hey, I'm doing this right now. Let me focus on this. Let me focus on this other thing after.
Okay. Yeah.
That's amazing. So now it sounds like you're having some of these agents when they have difficulty selling a home, they might be contacting you saying, hey, this is an option.
Yep. Or agents that, hey, I can do this. I got this deal. And for example, the Pueblo, the one on Instagram, if you want to pull it up, that we can talk about that one as well.
Yeah.
It was a crazy story. The third video.
Right there?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So that one, we got it for $310.
Okay.
We got it for $310. We're gonna put like 80 into it. Oh, you can see that we moved the stairs.
This is a common thing for you, huh? You're like,
yes,
we're just gonna move the stairs on these houses from here on out.
And so we closed this like 2 weeks ago, and everything is already with texture. Like we already muddy and drywall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this one, a friend of mine, he bought it to me. It's a sweet deal because we bought it for $310, and ARV on this one is $530. So my holding cost, since I'm buying low, they're like really good margins.
Yeah.
But it was because of a relationship. Because like, hey, I know that he told me I was gonna blast it out, but I know that you do deals, and I'd just rather give it to you right here.
Maybe then he doesn't have to deal with
exactly with all the phone calls and everything like that.
Sense.
And actually, this one, we almost got the police involved. Yeah, it was a really messed up situation. The mother on the property, it was already like almost paid off. I think they only owed like $15,000. Mother owned the property. She had kids, but the kids were not on the picture. Suddenly, money is involved. Money comes together. So They almost threatened my guy. Yeah, that she's not gonna sell. She's mental ill. She cannot take decisions by her own. And we're like, hey, prove me that's the right thing, right? Show me medical bills or like a medical statement saying that she's not allowed to take decisions on her own, and we will back out because that's the right thing. We don't want to take advantage of people. Dementia shows we want to do the things the right way. It didn't show us anything, obviously. So we were gonna close on this deal in 2 weeks. It took us like 3 weeks to close because they wanted to back out. They wanted more money. The closing on their side took 2 hours because the daughter and the mother were on title.
Mm-hmm.
So the daughter didn't want to tell their mom how much she was taking. She was like, just fill it out and I'll just say how much. And the mother was like, no, I want to know how much and so I can distribute it or whatever. They didn't want to tell the mom how much she was going to take. And they ended up taking $70,000 from the mom.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was really crazy story. Really sad as well to see all those situations. So, but obviously, we did not take advantage of people because they agreed onto something, right? The property was really in a really bad situation, really bad condition. So the property, we gave them like a fair value. So you build those relationships and you build your brand at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Your record, people know you. And like my dad told me, if you're a good person, business is going to come your way.
That's great.
If somebody is young right now and they're watching this and they're trying to figure out how do I have a different life, right? What advice could you give them on how to get started into doing something that brings that abundance to them?
Discipline beats intelligence.
Ooh, I like that. Discipline beats intelligence.
That's great.
And it's a book that I'm reading right now that explains that. Explains you can be smart. You can be smart depends. You can do this, you can do that. I have friends from high school that used recently. I used to ask them for the homework because I would skip class. And they were smart. I was always like an A guy, like A+, A guy. Because I'm smart. I'm not like book smart, but I can like easy to learn, right? So I would skip classes, but I would still do my homework. It was fun, right? And they were like this friend that I will always ask for her for help or the homework. And she just recently reached out to me. She's like, hey, I'm going through this situation. Can I have some money? I was like, sure. Going back to the school system. I go back and I see all those things. I'm like, hey, if you have a dream, just go for it. People are going to laugh at you. It's not going to be easy. That's why, for example, I have this one that it says, are you willing to do what it takes?
I love that.
And this other one that it says, trust the process, that it's a pawn that becomes the king. So it's faith at the end of the day. If you look at the definition of faith, it's believing in something that you don't see. It doesn't necessarily related to religion. It's about trusting in something that you don't see. You're trusting in yourself, in the person you're going to become tomorrow. That you're going to make it happen. At the end of the day, owning a business, it's you. You're not going to have Superman's not going to come save you if you lose $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on a flip. You got to figure out by yourself. It's going to be scary. Yes, 100%. I was 17 translating rep Cs to my dad because he doesn't speak English.
Rep Cs, for those watching, is
the real estate purchase contract.
Yeah, purchase.
So the contracts, I was translating the contracts to my dad. So at the end of the day, I had all that weight on my back. Yeah. So it's not easy, right? Obviously taking decision, not living your dream college experience, going through college, partying, wasn't a decision that I took. But you got to sacrifice things. You got to be smart with the decisions that you take. There's this other one that it's easy decisions takes you to a hard life. Hard decisions, easy life.
I love it.
So you can lie to everyone, but you're not gonna lie to yourself. So if you have a dream, make it happen. There's another quote that it's respect and loyalty. It's a two-way street. If you give me your respect, I'm gonna give you respect. I'm gonna keep it that way.
Yeah.
If you disrespect me, I'm gonna say hi, how are you, and that's it. I don't kiss butts to other people. So if I don't like you, I'm gonna, hey, I don't like you for you did this, or I felt it this way, and I'm pretty upfront to people. People don't really like it. What?
Weird.
I know. How they're I right here. So I'm pretty upfront. I'm not fake with what I say or with what I think. I'm 21. I'm young, and I don't.
You're an old soul.
Yes, I am. I take my notes like in paper. I have an iPad. For example, when I roll my CMAs, there's a lot of people. CMAs, when I roll my numbers to buy a property, many people have this spreadsheet, 10% ARV, 10% this. I don't do that way. If I have my notebook, purchase price, this much. We have holding. And I just roll my numbers on paper.
Okay.
And that's how I roll my I think did I say simply?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
So
I remember seeing it. Yeah.
So that's how I do it. I'm old school. I keep my word, even though if screw me over after, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna be back. Hey, can we do something? If not, I'll give you my word and I'll stand to that.
Yeah.
So,
Love it.
yeah, like I said, like to young people, if you have a dream, something you want to accomplish, go for it. I was a popular guy in high school. Yeah, I used to be in the soccer team, swimming, and there is a class called Latinos in Action. So I was the president of that class.
Of course you were.
It's natural. So I was like the popular kid. But again, take decisions. I went from being the popular kid, go out. You know what quinceañeras are?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to be the chamalan, the guy that danced with the girl.
Okay.
So in a year, I was like 30 times chamalan.
Oh, wow.
So I was sparring Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I was like, is this going to take me somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
No. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't go out. I don't really go out to clubs. I don't drink. I don't smoke.
You're focused on building this cool business.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
I don't really like it. If I go out with friends for something, they drink, I'll just have a beer and probably won't even finish it. But I enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
I can go crazy, but without alcohol, without drugs, without anything like that, because I don't like it. But again, take decisions. You're gonna have to say probably bye to friends, family,
Yes.
family, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
There is another one that I like, and it says, there is a reason why a bus has 30 seats and a Ferrari only has 2.
I like the analogy.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to understand that, and it's okay.
Yeah, not everyone can come with you.
Exactly,
Yes.
and it's okay. That's totally fine.
Diego, it was awesome. Thanks so much for coming on. And if you guys want to follow him, if you can pull up his Instagram really quick, he is posting videos all the time of some really cool projects. And there's some before and after and just huge transformations on some of these properties. On Instagram, it's DB Investor at the top. And there we go. We got another follower right
It's not
there.
a mugshot. I swear to God, it's my driver's license picture. It's not a mugshot. It looks like one, but it's not.
Diego,
So-
thanks so much.
Thank you very much for the invitation.